Initially, CSU informed me that they could not dispatch assistance until a plumber had arrived. However, after further review, CSU decided to send the wastewater division, given the severity of the issue. I then notified the neighbors and discovered that 2 additional homes had been inundated with wastewater as well. Additional wastewater was spilling out over a man cover that was behind my house on Brainerd Drive. Elite Rooter and Restoration One both came out and said that the situation was unprecedented. It took CSU 3 hours to stop the wastewater from entering our homes, and Restoration One then began the mitigation process, which involved removing sewage that had reached the level above baseboards throughout the basement. CSU then deployed a team to work in Brainerd Drive from 12 p.m. on that evening through about 4 a.m. the following morning. My insurance company determined that the incident originated from an external source and instructed me to seek responsibility from CSU for the cleanup and repair, and subsequently denied the claim. On Monday, I contacted risk management, which assigned an adjuster. The adjuster, after reviewing the situation and receiving the photos and videos, indicated that due to the neighborhood's PVC piping, that CSU might not be liable unless there was a pipe failure. She also mentioned an assistance fund available if CSU was found not liable. I received a bill for the mitigation on Friday, August 9th, which totaled over $20,000, and I was responsible for $13,000 due immediately. I had to use a home equity line of credit and 9% interest to cover the cost. On Monday, August 12th, I received a rebuild estimate of over $42,000, bringing the total cost to bring my basement back to restoration was $62,188.90, excluding personal property losses. As a single mother who works full-time as a realtor and is also attending college, this is a significant financial and emotional burden. My youngest child is heading to college today. This is why I'm unable to be present, but I'm trying to also put my home on the market. And one of my home's main selling points was the basement. I'm simply requesting that Colorado Springs Utilities acts in good faith and fully addresses the damages caused by this incident. Thank you for your attention to this matter and your time.
Okay, ma'am. And personally, I want to thank you for coming in today and sharing that with us. I do want to connect you probably with Summer Meese before you leave. I'll just ask if there's, and we've had other incidents like this in front of us in the past. It's always something that all of us have, great sympathy for. Any of our citizens or our neighbors that have something like this happen to us. There is just a process we have to go to properly deal with it. And you want to say something?
Summer could probably, could probably help.
There you go. And now Summer will.
Yeah, this is something Timberline Road Ridge, right neighborhood, that the team has been investigating to help claims with their process. I am working with claims as we speak on this issue, and I can step outside and we can talk more and give you some more advice and guidance on how to move forward with that. But that is something we are working with claims. I actually talked to them earlier this morning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, and thank you for coming in today. And now, Gail, any others for items not on the agenda?
The next person is Robin Bennett.
Okay, and Ms. Bennett. And again, welcome, Ms. Bennett. And once you start, we try to keep it to 3 minutes.
Okay. So my name is Robin Bennett. I'm speaking on behalf of my brother and sister-in-law, Ron and Kathy Nepp, for the similar incident on Timberwolf Trail. And they asked me to present this statement from them. 6 days before.
Can I ask you, is that the same street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 6 days before our vacation, we had a horrible and costly sewer backup in our basement. We're asking the city to do the right thing in covering our losses, which include emergency mitigation, demo, and rebuild costs, along with replacing our personal property that could not be salvaged. On Saturday, August 3rd, when we discovered we had about an inch of backed up city water in our basement, we immediately engaged Restoration One to start emergency mitigation work. They were already on site because one of our neighbors had called them because they also had the same issue. Restoration One worked that day on our home from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the emergency mitigation. I also immediately called our insurance company to report the claim, and we were fortunate as we had the sewer backup endorsement and USA paid the $10,000 limit within 48 hours. However, as you know, this endorsement is typically capped with all insurance companies at $10,000. CSU is starting work on ripping up the road and traffic circle to dig down 14 feet to get to the pipe. It had been clogged, but they needed to replace a section, and they were doing their investigation to include multiple cameras from several manhole covers. They were on scene working until at least 1 a.m. on Sunday. We had about an inch in our entire 1,500 square foot basement. We have had 7 commercial fans, dehumidifiers, and air scrubbers running in the house ever since that night. Ron and I had planned Sunday to speed up the rest of the mitigation process for drying out, removing and disposing personal property that was damaged, salvaging what we were able to, and moving items to storage. We did this because we knew this was going to be a very expensive process. Ron and I did the following over the course of 4 days, working 12 to 14 hours a day: cut up, bagged, and removed and disposed of 3 large 10 by 12 area rugs, cut up, bagged, removed, and disposed of the rest of the carpet and pad that was not removed on the initial cutout, removed 1,300 linear feet of pergo flooring and vapor barrier, hauled it out and disposed of it, removed and disposed of most of the baseboards, bagged personal property that needed to be tossed and disposed of it, moved furniture that wasn't damaged, packed up items in the house, moved some furniture and property to a newly rented storage unit, 10 by 10, which is almost full. The sewer had backed up through the shower drain. The quote is approximately $15,000 for the mitigation, demo, and installation of the drywall that was already cut. We saved over $4,500 because of our do-it-yourself efforts and moving items to storage ourselves, but we did take a total of 2,320 pounds to the dump at a cost of $375.68. As 2 long-term residents in the city and as a senior citizens in our 60, we should not have had to do this, but we were worried whether or not the city would do the right thing. The cost of replacing our personal property is in the thousands of dollars, and I need to get an estimate on rebuilding and replacing the building items upon our return, but I'm guessing it will be about $15,000 in materials and labor. I hope our statement causes the board to understand our perspective and the costs and burden this is to our family and chooses to cover our damages since we're not at fault for this loss. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. I want to also thank you for coming in and sharing that with us today. And I believe Summer would meet with you also.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And Gail, go ahead.
The last person is James Howie.
Mr. Howie.
So involved with this whole Timberwolf.
Okay.
I'm the actual homeowner, so my wife's in Europe, of course. Everybody's on vacation, so I'm stuck here coming. But we just basically, when I come, you've already heard the whole story now. You know what's going. Oh, I don't know.
Is there a little green
Yeah,
light
it's
there?
green. Yeah. My wife's out of
Yeah.
town, so I'm stuck dealing with this. You've heard the story, everything that's gone on.
Mhm.
We're not getting any kind of answers from the city. We're getting the runaround from CSU, call the city, city call CSU. Betsy's our, I guess, advocate, not advocate, but adjuster.
Mhm.
We haven't heard nothing from her. We got a name for another lady named Holly. I emailed her over a week ago. Yesterday, I finally got an email saying that it's not her responsibility. Contact Betsy. We're out, so far, we're out $16,000 of 24 for just mitigation, plus another 30 to 40,000 to rebuild. You know, we've done nothing wrong. We maintain our sewer. This is a problem that the city caused because the sewer's backed up. They came out and they were out there for hours replacing the sewer, but yet we can't get a report of what their finding was.
Mhm.
We've asked for the report, we're getting a runaround. We've asked for what's going to be done, we're getting a runaround. You know, it's just sad that it's come to this. The city's responsible for their sewer, are they not? It's their equipment. I'm a businessman. I'm a self-employed businessman. I am responsible for my equipment to make sure it doesn't harm anybody. I just feel like this needs to be taken care of because all 3 of us are out tens of thousands of dollars so far, and we're going to be out tens of thousands of dollars more just to get our homes that we can't even live in properly right now back to the way it should be. We've had to put off family vacation. We had family coming into town. They couldn't come because they stay in the basement. Our basement is unlivable right now. A third of our home is unlivable. We've had to put our dog into daycare, whatever, while we were gone because nobody's there. My wife's craft room has been ruined. She just retired after 33 years of serving the government. And now she can't even enjoy her craft room because it's inhabitable. That's about all I got to say, other than I guess we'll be talking to you also.
And I want to thank you also. I don't think the board had heard about any of this yet. I don't believe, I know I haven't. I guarantee you that Summer and the Colorado Springs Utilities, will do what's right, want to do what's right.
And that's all we're
There
asking.
is, like everything, there's a process we have to go through. And I'll step out onto the ice and try to explain something here. And what we don't want to happen is that private businesses plug up the sewer line. Maybe they shove concrete or something into the drains, block it. Then you and all the ratepayers end up paying for that person's damage to multiple homes. And so we're actually, I believe, working on even an improved process for this. And I don't know if our CEO, after I've opened my mouth, he probably wants to correct 5 things I've just said. But I think you can appreciate that, right? Is we just want to be sure it's truly hey, is it a CSU mistake or failure to maintain, or is it someone else did something? And that happens where people put stuff in the drain, plugs it up, goes into your home. They need to be the ones who pay for it. But we're trying to find the right way to make that happen. So I will stop now that I probably said 8 things that I shouldn't have. Go ahead, Travis.
And I
Just
understand that.
Okay, just 7.
One, I want to apologize to you and really both of you for this happening. I mean, it's a horrible event. I've shared this story. It happened to me once, many years ago in a different town. We are working through it. Summer was aware. I was getting an update from her. Utilities is an enterprise of the city, and our claims department is actually managed by the city. And there is some checks and balances there, making sure that we don't use money inappropriately, reimbursing. So there is some checks and balances. We do understand that process isn't timely enough for this. So we are working through this summer. I think you heard her mention, she was just on the phone this morning. We will work to get this resolved.
Well, and to be honest, this is the first time I've heard of Summer.
Well, plus claims is our sort of insurance, sort of a provider, since we are self-insured as a city, it does go through there for rightful reasons, so Summer's not writing checks because, she knows
Right.
you're a friend. So there is checks and balances, but we're also working on actually, and this is for everybody in here, of an updated type of a process with our city claims. When it gets into wastewater in particular, time is of the essence. There is safety involved that, we can't wait, months or, weeks and months, to get it resolved. We do know that this process has to be improved, and we are working with our city partners to make sure that this is addressed, that we do have something in place for those that are impacted, because it is a safety risk. I mean, there's all kinds of things with wastewater that this isn't ideal. So we are getting this resolved, and we are looking for a solution long-term that if and when, this happens again, with the amount of, over 500,000 people, unfortunately, things do break and things happen. We do everything we can to keep that from happening. But when it does, we have to be exponential quickly on making sure that that's resolved. So, but you do have my sincere apology that it has happened, and Summer will step out with you and get you an update on this, some things we can do in the meantime. And she's working with our claims group now to try to get it resolved.
All right, appreciate it.
Okay, sir. Thank you for, again, coming in today. And I hope you can see that we take it seriously. We care about you.
Well, like I said, the only reason we're all here is because we're not getting communicated with.
Well, that'll get fixed.
Thank you.
Thank you. And back to Gail.
There are no more customer
Okay.
comments.
Is there anyone else in here present today that would like to make comments? I don't see anyone in the audience. Is there anyone online, Gail?
No submissions have been made.
Okay. Then in that case, we'll move on to our next item, agenda item 5, which is recognitions. The first recognition is for National Preparedness Month. Aaron Duran, the Emergency Management Program Manager, is going to tell us more.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to invite Aaron and Brian up. So Aaron Duran is our program manager over our emergency response, and Brian Babcock is our general manager over our operations section of Summers Division. So turn it over to you two.
Thank you, Travis, Chair Donaldson, Board. Thank you for having us today. So my name is Brian Babcock. I'm the System and Field Operations General Manager, and emergency preparedness is in my area. So before I kick it over to Aaron, I just want to highlight a couple things. If you all remember, of course, the windstorm back in December of 21, one of the outcomes of that, one of the learnings of that is that to participate in the National Preparedness Month and Emergency Preparedness Week is a best practice across the country to better prepare for those types of events, storms, as well as other kinds of things that would impact our operations. So we implemented that process. So this is the yearly update of that, if you will. And really wanted to highlight part of that objective is Erin's role in the organization. So she's our emergency preparedness program manager. It's a position where she really works throughout the organization and across out external to other groups outside of the organization to better prepare our groups for different types of emergencies. So that ahead of time that we have processes and procedures in place so that when they do occur, that we can respond appropriately and quickly and serve our customers. And then kind of the third element of that is really learnings from when events do occur. So doing after action reviews and implementing continuous improvement type activities. So really Aaron does a great job in those types of roles and collaborating across our organization and collaborating across with the city and the county. And with that in respect, I want to highlight that we have a couple of our partners in the room, Andrew Notbaum and Toby Blanchard from BPR OEM are here. So thank you. And, again, we have the same customers. We have shared objectives in the community of with the city, with regional organizations, with fire, with police, et cetera. And so our intention is to plan and collaborate so we can best serve our common customers. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Aaron.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Travis, and thank you, Board, for allowing me to talk with you today. And so this will be our third year bringing forward to you, recognizing National Preparedness Month, and also the third year that we are holding our annual Emergency Preparedness Week. So that'll be next week, the last full week in August. We have several activities planned. I'm doing some lunch and learns to educate our workforce on different things like cybersecurity. And we're also bringing in, as Brian mentioned, some of our partners. Many of you are likely familiar with Peak Alerts and El Paso Teller 911. And so we're going to be bringing them on to educate our workforce on some of the preparedness applications and opportunities that they have. And then during the month of September for National Preparedness Month, we also have several activities planned. And we're going to take a little bit of a shift and really talk with our employees about personal preparedness. Because part of responding to an emergency as first responders within our organization is ensuring that your family is safe and that your family is prepared to be without you while you are putting the critical services back together for our community. So that'll be our internal focus throughout September. And we also have a very large tabletop exercise looking at, we'll take the December 21 windstorm and we're gonna ramp that up a little bit and have a good leadership, very complex discussion about events like that. So again, we have a lot planned and just really appreciate you taking the time to help us recognize September as National Preparedness Month.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Brian. I'll see if there are any questions or comments from board members. All right, well, looks like you explained it so thoroughly. We don't have any questions for you. So I want to thank you on behalf of the whole board for what you do for Colorado Springs Utilities and the entire city.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll move to our next recognition, which is 2024 Colorado Day of Total Worker Health. So Chief Human Resource Officer Renee Adams, to my right, is here to introduce Mr. Mike Myers, who's out there, and Ms. Heather Harvey, who will give us a little more information about this recognition of Colorado Day of Total Worker Health.
Thank you, Chair Donaldson, and thank you to the board. As Heather and Mike come up to the dais, I want to talk about one of our strategic initiatives for 2024 on total worker health. So this initiative is a partnership between Human Resources and Safety and Health on behalf of two of our values for the organization, people and safety. So I'm going to hand it over to them to explain what's going on.
Good afternoon, Board Chair Donaldson, Vice Chair Avila, and board members. My name is Heather Harvey. I'm the Human Resource Manager for Colorado Springs Utilities.
Good afternoon, Board Chair Donaldson, Vice Chair Avila, members of the board, Michael Myers, Manager of Safety and Health for Colorado Springs Utilities. We're here to talk to you, like Renee said, Total Worker Health Committee. Colorado Springs Utilities established a committee in May of 2023 with a mission to develop integrated policies, programs, and practices and resources that advance employee safety, health, and well-being. We're really focusing on our employees. The committee members are comprised of 17 employees from across the organization, and every division within Colorado Springs Utilities is represented. Currently, Colorado Springs Utilities has contracted with HealthLink. HealthLink is an organization tied to the Colorado School of Public Health. And some of the following goals were developed with HealthLinks for our organization. The first goal was to ensure leaders demonstrate support for workers' workplace health and safety, integrate workplace health and safety strategies, and promote healthy eating, physical activity, and active living.
So to date, the Total Worker Health Committee has achieved the following items. We've identified our executive sponsors. We are partnering with HealthLinks to guide the Total Worker Health Initiative. We're also completed the Healthy Workplace Intake Surveys provided by HealthLinks. We've received and reviewed the action plan from HealthLinks as well. We've identified focus action items, including integrating safety and HR messages, as well as scheduled leadership training for executives and managers. So the committee has determined that the focus for the remainder of 2024 is to include total worker health leadership education, which we think is very vital to the success of this program, monthly total health worker events, and communications to promote employee well-being.
So just to highlight a few of the activities we have for the remainder of the year. In August, we have a safety topic that's focused on back to school and roadway safety. In September, we have some wellness messages that are about suicide awareness and prevention, not only for our employees here at work, but also for out in our community. In October, we have the executive leadership training scheduled. We have a safety leadership summit that will be scheduled, and members of our organization will come and attend and listen to safety messages, well-being messages, and we'll actually tie them back to our strategic objectives. In November, the Manager Total Worker Health Leadership Training will take place with our partner of HealthLinks. And then finally in December, we're going to meet with executive sponsors and plan out the remainder of our year and then look at our 2025 calendar plan.
So I would like to take just a few minutes and read the proclamation that was declared by our governor of the state of Colorado. Whereas the state of Colorado recognizes the value of investing in Colorado's workers' health, safety, and well-being to promote health, prevent injury, and enhance workforce productivity. And whereas more than 3 million workers in the state of Colorado spend as many of their daily hours working, providing employers with a significant opportunity to foster a safe and healthy work environment. And whereas in 2023, 58% of small firms and 94% of large companies in the U.S. had a wellness program of some kind. And whereas the state of Colorado encourages everyone to recognize the worker health and safety opportunities that exist and celebrate organizations and employers that place value on implementing such initiatives. So therefore, the governor of the state of Colorado proclaimed August 22nd, 2024, Colorado Day of Total Worker Health. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you, Heather. Thank you, Michael. Are there any questions or comments from board members? I see Board Member Handel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you both for presenting this to us. Renee, thank you as the owner of this strategic initiative. I want to just make an observation, actually. When I was doing the majority of my work as a consultant in organizations, and we did something called a culture walkabout. and when we would go into an organization and we would be looking for things and signs in the organization, not literally signs on the wall, but evidence of the culture that they were trying to embody. And so I have an observation of a couple of things that I've noticed just walking around the halls of this floor of utilities. One would be on the doorways of folks. I see something about why I stand for safety, and I see pictures of family and sort of this is why I'm focusing on safety. This is why it's important to me personally. So that's I guess, evidence of some of this work from my perspective. And the other thing I've seen, it's more, I guess, related to just recognizing the value and the talent of your employees as individuals is you have some beautiful artwork displayed by your own employees, which is very cool. When I saw that the other day, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Look at the talented artists that we have in the organization. So those are just two pieces of actual evidence that I see in your working on this. I'm sure there are others, but I just wanted to make those observations. And thank you very much. Certainly supportive of this particular strategic objective. Thanks.
Thank you.
We also have several committee members here. Can you recognize them?
Sure. Can we ask the members of the Total Worker Health Committee to please stand?
Would you like them to introduce themselves?
Yeah, sure. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself in a loud voice so that we older folks up here can hear you and yeah.
And the areas you work in.
Yeah, in the area that you work in. All right, thank you very much. And Kylie, it looks like you didn't get the email about everybody was going to sit over there today, but what's going on? All right, well,
Thank you.
is there more? No? Okay, well then, thank you very much, Mike. Thank you, Heather. We appreciate you being here and presenting this to us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Oh, and board member Henjum just happened to mention this artwork out in the lobby over by you know where it is. And I'm going to hand it over to our CEO to speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Renee why she's up here to cover it. She's our sponsor over Delta, so.
Yes, so the Delta team had a multicultural kaleidoscope. This is the inaugural year for the multicultural exhibit. We had 8 or 9 entrants this year, so this is the first year. We do plan on having this every year. And we sponsored at the summer celebration. We had the exhibits posted in a tent for all to see. We're currently in the process of voting on the exhibits, and we'll be announcing the winners of those after we finish the roadshow. So we've been rotating buildings. So the exhibit is in its 4th location right now. It'll be in its 5th next week. We wanted to time it with the board meeting and with the board committee so that you all had a chance to see the exhibits, the fine art from our employees. And we hope to double the number of entries for next year. But we displayed them at summer celebration. And it is great kudos to our employees who all have full-time jobs, but we do have a life outside of work. And we have a lot of really experienced, talented artists throughout the organization. And a big shout out to the Delta team for planning this event. We did have a couple people on this floor that submitted entries, and they're out in the hallway. So thank you to the Delta team. Thank you to all of those artists who submitted entries, and good luck. Hopefully, we'll announce the winner in the next 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you, Renee. Any questions, comments from board members? I do not see any. Thanks again. And we will go on to item number 6, and which are compliance reports. There are 3 compliance reports in our packets, the I-2, the I-4, and the I-8. These compliance reports were discussed at Finance Committee on Monday. Are there any questions on those reports? Seeing none. There's also the E2 CEO board partnership responsibilities, the ECA GCA cost adjustment monitoring report, and the water outlook. And we have those, both those reports in our packets. Are there any questions on either of those reports? Okay, and I see no one has a question on that. So we'll move on to item number 8, which is the 2025 budget and rate case. And John Hunter and Scott Shirola from Pricing and Rates team are here to present the 2025 budget and rate case. And this is informational only.
Okay,
Good
good
afternoon.
afternoon, Chair Donaldson, Vice Chair Avila, and members of the board, John Hunter, Manager of Financial Planning and Risk. And with me is Scott Shirola, Manager of Pricing and Rates. Before we get into this, I really want to take a minute to acknowledge the tremendous amount of work that was put into getting this 5-year rate case and budget put together. We've never done anything like this in my 17 years of working on budgets. And it was a tremendous amount of work. It was very collaborative with everyone across the organization. And so not just members of my team and Scott's team, but really the organization put a lot into this. And I just want to thank them for their efforts. Okay, with that, we can go into the next slide. One more, please. Okay, this is our sources of funding for this 2025 appropriation. You can see the largest pieces of this chart are the existing operating revenues. That's really what comes from our existing rate structure as it is today. With the next biggest piece being the purple, which is our debt funding portion of the appropriation, are the bond funds that will go out and procure, which a good chunk of was already procured a couple weeks ago. And then the next one is that gold piece at the top, which is the rates increase revenue that will come from the rate case that we're proposing. Now, a good chunk of that is fuel-based, will not be in the rate case, but that's just our best estimate of where fuel rates would need to be at the end of 25. So, okay, next slide. This is the same look, except expanded out over the 5 years that we're covering with this rate case. And you will only be approving 1 year of budget, but we wanted to give you a look of how that looks for the rates that Scott will be showing you here in a little bit.
John, and if I could, I just want to make that really clear for anybody here or on the news tonight or watching at home, that gold portion at the top, which says rate increases, a large portion of that is projected fuel costs, which may or may not occur.
And they are cumulative. So that's every year that we add a little more rate on, then that bar is going to get a little bigger.
Okay, so that is not simply the base rate increases, which we're talking about. That is something else also. Okay.
But we wanted to be fully transparent and show all of it.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Oh, and I think maybe we have a question. Board Member Henjum.
Actually, thank you, Mr. Chair. Not so much a question, but I think also because this is so significant, this was such a significant piece of work and very forward-looking and transparent. I think it's also important because more of the public is becoming aware of this rate case, and it is significant. That it's important that folks know that at least the Finance Committee has heard this at least 4 times. I think this is maybe this is the 4th time we're hearing this. So we have been becoming aware over this over the last many months, and certainly for some members of the board who haven't been in those Finance Committee meetings, they have heard it in other places as well, including the Joint Strategic Finance Committee meeting. So just for context, I think that's helpful. And I say that as the chair of the Finance Committee. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And continue, John.
Okay, no other questions on this one. We can go to the next slide. This table will show what we're proposing for the 2025 budget versus what was approved for the 2024 budget. And then you can see the variance column of what's really driving the increase from 1.5 billion to 1.8, with the largest driver really being the capital projects that we have to get done to meet all the regulatory compliance, growth, and reliability goals that we see. Okay, anything else on this one? Or nope. Okay,
No,
next
go
slide.
ahead and continue.
Okay, just like we did with the sources of funds, we wanted to show, even though you're only asking for approval for 25, we wanted to show the 5-year that supports the rate case that Scott's going to present. So you can see, really, if you go down to that total line, you know, the 1.8 that we're at, we'll be asking for approval in 25, goes up to about 2.5, and then it starts to go back down towards 2 billion, but I don't know if that's going to be close to the new normal. I mean, we'll be somewhere probably just south of 2 billion after we get through this 5-year. Biggest driver is really those capital programs again on that top line. Yeah, we definitely did go in great depths with the finance committee and looked at a lot of projects by themselves. Okay. One more slide for me. This last slide kind of shows our financial metrics that will be supported by the 2025 and the rate case that Scott will present. All of the top 3 metrics on the top table do support maintaining our AA rating rate increase, our rate agency rating. So, you know, even with these significant amounts of spend that we're looking at, we want to make sure that we maintain that rating because it does save us a lot of money on our borrowing of cap to fund the capital programs. And then at the bottom, those are just the proposed system rate increases, where Scott will have the actual breakdown by rate classes.
Okay, John, and I believe our CFO, Tristan Gerhardt, would like to add something.
Thank you, Chair Donaldson. Again, just wanted to put a reminder in here as we look at these metrics in particularly. We do have corporate scorecard metrics that tie to each of these 3 metrics that we show at the top of the page there. We have those in places where for adjusted debt service coverage and days cash on hand, you'll see they're fairly steady on both of those where we have them, and really at a range where we feel like it meets expectations as set in that corporate scorecard. The debt ratio is the one that we're keeping a close eye on. Anything that shows a number that's greater than 54% would put us in a category on our corporate scorecard that does not meet expectations. We are taking a bit of a risk as an organization moving into these years to be able to get all of the capital plan done in a way that we preserve as much of our debt ratio as we can, with really the next 5 years after what's shown here, recovery trying to drive back down into that 50% to 54% range to get back to meets expectation. But we are having a variance there planned moving into these years just to be able to accomplish the work that we're trying to get done.
Okay, thank you for that. And back to you, John.
Okay. Any more questions on this slide? Okay. I believe that's it for me. I will hand it over to Scott Chirola to talk about the rate case.
Thank you. Chair Donaldson, Vice Chair Avila, members of the board. Again, Scott Chirola, Manager of Pricing and Rates. Thank you for the opportunity today to present the draft 2025 rate case. The rate case and the proposed rates are really the bridge between the 5-year financial plan and the impact to our customers. So I'm happy to provide detail of those impacts as we go through the presentation this afternoon. Next slide, please. There it is. Okay. Just in terms of the procedure, really, the rate case that we're presenting today is really for a discussion item, as the chair indicated. We are looking for a informal kind of thumbs up from the board after the presentation for utilities to bring this case to City Council on September 10th, where we would file that case and request a public hearing date of October 22nd for a hearing on the rate case. At that point, after that rate hearing in October, the vote on the rate case would take place on November 12th, I believe. So with that, I'm happy to provide the detail. The proposed rate case would have changes to all of our service tariffs. So our tariffs for electric, natural gas, water, and wastewater, as well as our utilities rules and regulations, which are the provisions of general service of utilities, as well as specific terms and conditions of service for each of the 4 services. We're proposing effective dates for the rate changes, effective January 1st of each of the years 25 through 29, as well as the proposed effective date of our EnergyWise time of day transition in October 1st of 2025. And then all the changes to our rules and regulations we're proposing as a January 1st, 25 effective date.
Mr. Chair.
Board Member Henschel.
Hey, I think it might be helpful actually before we continue, and I don't know if Tristan, you want to speak to this or even Travis perhaps, or whoever wants to take it. Because we're going to be going into great detail about each of the 4 services and going through the rate increases. I think it would be helpful just to have a quick preview again of the why. Why are we doing this? I think we have media here, people are paying attention, and I think in starting with the why is critical.
Yeah, happy to answer that. So as we start moving into this year, we've got a couple deadlines that is really facing, Colorado Springs Utilities. The first is substantial, is our closure of the Nixon Power Plant. That closure is the end of 2029. This is in response to meeting decarbonization targets given to us at Colorado Springs Utilities, through the state of Colorado to meet 80% reduction. So with this plant coming offline, that does cause us needs to change what our portfolio looks like. So it's bringing on additional renewables to meet that, but as well as ensuring that reliability for our customers are not impacted, through this transition and to keep up with growth, is we are putting new gas generation in to help replace this. So the gas generation is to help complement this transition without really impacting reliability to our customers. So that is a big piece of what our electric project is. The other one is our wastewater system. Wastewater in general is something that is a challenge, within the Colorado Springs footprint, because we have to bring it from all parts of the city, through gravity and through lift stations and bring it to our treatment facilities, 2 of which are on Fountain Creek. So we are out of capacity in some of those outreach areas in 2028. So we do have some capacity issues there that have to be resolved, or at that point, we are going to not be able to serve customers beyond that in some of those areas, which we take very seriously with the Forest Service utility. The other big piece of this is going to be our increased and continued work with our water. So water is always going to be and always will be a very important commodity within the state of Colorado. It's a topic that always comes up. We want to be able to utilize what water we have and what water rights we have. So, our Montgomery Reservoir is a big piece of this moving forward. We've worked through that and we're getting the permits where we can actually expand that reservoir to be able to keep some of our water rights within our system to help utilize. So you have a lot of water infrastructure in here that is tied to utilizing and making our water work for us when it gets into what those areas and those reservoirs needs. And then it gets into gas. So gas distribution is something that we actually take the commodity from our gas transmission providers, take it from there, then we bring it to our customers, at their meters, for use both residential and commercial. Gas distribution has become a focal point, within the state and the PUC when it gets into making sure that we are being very safety minded, as a gas distribution company. Good thing is we already are, but we do have to continue to invest in that. Our gas system is very safe, been managed very well, but we have to have continued investments there. So over the next 5 years, we do have a couple of areas that is requiring us to move quickly on some of these plans. And, as we do, we continue to take a lot of empathy, that this is a big impact for our customers. We know this is not done lightly and it's not done without necessity. So with that, we've done a lot of work to try to forego and push out anything that we possibly can in that next 5 years when it gets into capital work to try to get the stuff that we don't have as much say in done. Then we're going to continue to always focus on reliability, maintaining our current system as we move in to the next phase. So it's aggressive, as you can see, we've We've almost 3 to 4 times the capital spend over the next several years per year than we've ever had at Colorado Springs Utilities. And if everybody knows, nothing is cheaper today than it was, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. Everything we do is costing more money. So it takes more money to get some of this work done. We're continuing to work through it. We're going to have a lot of community outreach, through this process. We want to make sure the why is evident as much as possible to all parts and segments of our community. So you're going to see a very aggressive communication approach out. Stakeholder groups, I've talked to Tristan and Scott. You're probably going to see their faces a lot in the community when it gets into helping explain, what we're doing and the why we're doing it. I feel that's very important, especially when you have something that is going to be impactful and perceived as a negative impact to so many in our community. It's my responsibility to make sure that that's communicated very well and very effectively. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for setting the context. I think it's important. And I would just add one thing is that this is a publicly owned utility. This is not a private utility, and there's no profits going to shareholders. This is being reinvested into the organization. Thank you.
Okay, Scott, why don't you continue?
Thank you. And thank you for that question, Board Member Hincham. As I display the impact on the for-service bill of the 5 years of proposed rate increases, I wanted to kind of touch on the CEO's comments on really those infrastructure needs and the investments that we're making. And you'll notice as I go through the presentation on each of the slides where I have information on the 5-year proposed rate changes, we have building the future part of the financial plan. So the rates that we're proposing are a major part of the financial puzzle in terms of funding those investments. So just wanted to make that statement as well, and I'll try not to say that on every slide. But in terms of the for-service sample bill, I wanted to just highlight this specifically for residential customers. As we look across the impact of each of the 5 years, the for-service sample bill right now is starting at close to $246 for a residential customer. And that includes all 4 services. Looking across the next 5 years, we're anticipating on that sample bill an average annual increase of about 5.8%. So that's really the average annual impact of the rate changes that we're proposing. And similar increases across the commercial and industrial segments, slightly lower in both of those. A big part of that is fuel comprises a larger part of the commercial industrial bills for electric and natural gas. So as we propose these non-fuel changes that John highlighted, the overall bill impact is lower for those commercial and industrial customers. I will now go through each of the 4 services and provide a summary of what we're proposing for rate changes, starting with the electric service. And again, the why behind the increases here, primarily in 2025, is the investments in substation and transmission line projects, really those sustainable energy plan projects and supporting growth and resiliency, as well as the inflationary pressures that utilities is facing. The total non-fuel revenue requirement for the electric service is just under $396 million per year. We are requesting a 6.5% increase in that to fund these investments. I understand there's a lot of information on these tables, and we're going to have one of these for each of the services. And I'll just speak to a few things that I want to focus on. So on the left side of the page, there is a description of what the rate class is, starting with residential on the top row, going down to some of our commercial electric classes, and then eventually down to our industrial and contract service military rate classes. In the column that's labeled F, that's highlighted in gray, is the percentage rate increase that we're proposing in 2025. And you'll see for residential, for example, the system average increase for each of the 5 years in the electric service is 6.5%. Once we completed a cost of service study, so once John's team and the rest of the organization really finished the budget, the next step is to pass those revenue requirements onto my team, who completes a cost of service study to determine the equitable amount that should be recovered of that revenue requirement from each of the rate classes, residential, commercial, industrial. So we've completed that study, and based on that, we're proposing a 6.6% increase to the residential rate class. And the rest of the increases are shown on that page. I want to highlight a few of the outliers that maybe vary more from the system average increase of 6.5%. And I'll speak real briefly to two of those, and there are two industrial rate classes of very large industrial users. And for the first of those, designated on row 6, we're proposing a 10.2% increase in 2025. And for the next row down, our large power and light rate class, we're proposing almost a 12% increase to those customers. Both of those rate classes have key account managers. Each of those customers will have a key account manager at utilities that will be communicating these changes and working with them. So these won't come as big surprises.
Dave.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, board member Lineweber.
Have you done, with industrial, what's important there is that we really compare it to what other cities are doing and other options. Have you done a comparison of just looking how we compete for these companies to come here and thrive?
We have. We do a comparison quarterly with other utilities, not only along the Front Range, but then we have an annual comparison nationally. And even with these increases, we expect to be very competitive in those industrial classes.
Okay, thank you.
Scott, could you just, I don't think you've touched on this, or maybe you can just reiterate it. Why do those two have the higher increases? What is it with this 84% and 79% off on the right-hand side?
Yes, great. Yes, I was just leading into that. So the far right column reflects, after we provide or propose those increases in 2025 to these rate classes, the column on the far right, also highlighted in gray, signifies the percentage of revenue that rate class is recovering compared to the cost of service results that we calculated of what they should be contributing to the electric service. So those two rate classes are recovering 84 and 79% of their cost of service. So currently, they aren't recovering their full revenue that the cost of service would indicate. So we're proposing larger increases to move them closer to their cost of service. And board guidance that was approved in 2018 and refined a little after that establishes a ±5 kind of target to really have rate classes recovering within ±5% of their cost of service. So as we propose these 5-year rate increases, we're moving those classes closer to their full cost of service. And you'll also note in that far right column, because those rate classes are below their cost of service, some rate classes have to be slightly above their cost of service so that the utilities recovers its full amount of revenue. So you'll see in some of the other industrial classes, as well as the commercial classes, you'll see rate classes in the 102, 103% range of their cost of service, so slightly over. And again, over the 5-year period, those classes will be reducing down to the 100% of their cost of service. So phasing some rate classes up, phasing some classes down, all with the purpose of getting closer to their actual calculated cost of service.
Okay, so those ones with the largest increases, really, we're just trying to get them to pay what might be called their fair share.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, looking ahead now for the next 5 years and building that future and recapping that the average annual increase for the electric service as a whole is 6.5%. This table here reflects, again, summarizes those 2025 rate increases that we saw on the previous page, but then adds a column to the right, highlighted in blue, of what the annual increase in years 26 through 29 is proposed for each of those. For most rate classes, the percentage change in 25 and then the subsequent years is pretty similar. For residential, for example, in 2025, again, it was 6.6%. In years 26 through 29, it's 6.4%. And again, those two industrial classes that I spoke to, it's the same, happens to be the same percentage in both of those columns, 10.2 and 11.9%. And I won't speak to all of those percentages there, but that's what that page is highlighting. Transitioning to the natural gas service. Really the why, the drivers behind the natural gas service, as our CEO really spoke to, is largely in 2025, the Distribution Integrity Management Program, or the DIMP program, as well as supporting growth in those inflationary pressures that utilities is facing. The overall revenue requirement for the natural gas service is $92 million for 2025, and that is a 4% increase over what current rates would provide. Again, here's the summary table showing each of the rate classes in the natural gas service and the proposed rate increases, again in column F that's highlighted. The overall natural gas annual rate increase is 4%, and we're proposing a 3.9% increase to the residential class. Highlighting a couple of the outliers in the natural gas service in terms of percentage of the cost of service. I'll highlight on rows 3, the seasonal commercial service. We are proposing a 1% increase, which brings that class to 114% of their cost of service. So they are over their cost of service. And likewise, the row 5, which is our industrial transportation service, those are customers who contract with a third-party entity to buy their natural gas molecules and bring those to the city gate for utilities to bring those through our distribution system to the actual customer. They, after the cost of service, are at 106.8%. So both of those are over their cost of service. So as we'll see on the next page, similar to the electric service, but a mirror image really, where those classes are over their cost of service. So they're getting rate increases that we're proposing that are less than the system average of 4%, with for that seasonal rate class on row 4, getting 1% in 25 again, and then 0.6% in years 26 through 29. And similarly for that gas transportation service on row 6. Again, for the residential service, very similar increases in 25 as 26 through 29, with 3.9% in 25 and 3.8% in the subsequent years. Moving to the water service. And again, the drivers of the rate increase in 2025 for the water service are the Sustainable Water Plan projects, as well as supporting growth and the inflationary pressures again. The proposed revenue for the water service in 2025 is just under $229 million. That is a 6.5% increase over revenue from current rates. As we move into the water summary of rate increases by rate class, again, the system average annual increase is 6.5%. We're proposing, based on the cost of service results, a 5.4% increase for the residential class. And we really don't have extreme outliers in the water service. The military, with a 6.9% increase, is within the board guideline of plus or minus 5%, just over 95%. And so each of the other rate classes is essentially at 100% of their cost of service. So as we look at the next table, highlighting both the 2025 rate increases that are proposed, as well as the rate increases proposed in subsequent years, again, we'll see increases that are relatively close to the system average increase of 6.5, with 5.4% for the first year in 2025 for residential, 6.4% in subsequent years for residential, and the rest of the proposed increases are relatively close to the system average as well. And lastly, moving to the wastewater service. The drivers for the rate increases in 2025 are collection and treatment system rehabilitation and upgrades, and the inflationary pressures. The wastewater revenue requirement for 2025 is just under $80 million, and that reflects a 9% increase over the revenue from current rates. And similarly to water, most of the rate classes were essentially at their cost of service with these proposed 2025 rate increases. So all the classes right at 100%. And so when we look at the changes in the subsequent years, again, very similar increases as those for the overall service, which is 9%, with increases for each of the rate classes in years 26 through 29 at 9% as well.
Yeah, Board Member Hensham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Scott, I know you're going to be addressing this at the very, very end, but I think it's important now to just speak a little bit to because in each of the cases for the increases in all of these, growth is a part of it. And we have some new UPAC members in the audience, and I think it's important that people understand, and we will be getting to this, but about how growth pays for itself and how we will be recovering cost on the growth side. Again, knowing you're going to talk to it more in detail, but could you just give a quick high level of that before we go into some of these other things that aren't related?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for that question, Board Member Hincham. So as you know, the UPAC did have an assignment on growth and cost recovery that really started in the fall of 22, carried through into 2020, early 2024. So a good long assignment that body worked on. That team recommended, or that committee recommended, several changes to utilities cost recovery mechanisms. What we're including in the 2025 rate case are changes to our electric and natural gas line extension fees, as well as update of what I'd call review and design fees. So fees that utilities charges when we're reviewing certain applications and doing studies for connecting new customers to our system. So bringing those fees to full cost helps growth pay for growth and minimizes the level that rates is paying for growth through regular service rates.
Great, thank you.
This slide here really summarizes really the 2025 impact on the for-service sample bill. And I want to start with actually the bottom of the slide where we have the current front range comparison as of July 1st, 2024. And I want to start there really just to say that although we're proposing rate increases for the next 5 years, we're starting in a very strong position in terms of our competitiveness along the front range. Particularly in the electric service, we are just under 20% below the front range average. In natural gas, we're 34% below the front range average. These are for residential bills. In water, we know we have a more complex water system than most of our peers in Colorado. So in the water service, we do have higher average bills there. But again, in wastewater service, we have currently a 15% lower wastewater bill than the front range average. So when you look at the for-service bill for Colorado Springs Utilities sample residential customer, we are close to 14% lower than our peers along the front range. We did go ahead and update this with just Colorado Springs Utilities 2025 proposed rates, and that 14% competitiveness advantage does reduce, as you would imagine, down to 9%, but that's before applying the rate increases that other utilities will have that will take effect in 2025 as well. We know a number of electric, natural gas, water and wastewater utilities will be requesting rate increases, and so but that that 9% advantage is really prior to knowing what those changes are at this point in time. And as we stated at the beginning, we know that with this 5-year rate case and the proposed rate adjustments, it is a lot to ask of our customers in making these investments. And we understand that there's always customers, whether rates are going up or down, there's customers that will need assistance in paying their bills and making ends meet. And so we always like to promote and make available information on how to get in contact with those that can provide assistance, particularly with the federally funded LEAP program, as well as Project COAA. And the phone numbers to contact to get help is best to just call 211 to be directed to assistance, as well as 448-4800 to be directed directly to utilities.
Yes. And Board Member O'Malley.
One of the things I suggested in the past was to, for ratepayers that have solar to be able to donate their excess megawatts to Project COAA. So those people, that are right on the line of becoming homeless, utility bill away. How are we doing in working that program?
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. And sorry for not personally following up on that. We did discuss that at a finance committee meeting, I want to say back in June. And the recommendation at that time, really in light of other changes that the governor's energy office and a group of stakeholders studying net metering across Colorado is working on, utilities was recommending not to make an immediate change to Project COAA and for net metering in terms of donating net metering credits to Project COAA in a more direct manner until we get an idea of what net metering changes might be coming at the state level. And then we can make, hopefully in the near future, a more comprehensive change to our net metering program to encompass potentially changes related to that, but really handling those more cohesively as opposed to doing something before we know what the state movement looks like.
So you talk about it being at a state level, and what are we doing right now to be able to educate these people so that we can shape that outcome the way that we want it?
So the utilities has been participating in those state level discussions and with various members of utility staff. And so we're helping to shape those discussions. And we haven't seen those final results yet, but it looks like our CEO wants to speak to that.
Yeah, I'll touch on this and then I'll let Tristan touch on a little bit of the deep dive that they did on the excess solar piece. But so right now, net metering is one of those things that is, I ain't gonna say controversial in nature because you do have some customers subsidizing others. So, when people choose to put, rooftop solar or any other type of thing behind the meter, could be manufacturing, industrial, could be residential, all of them sort of the same. They're utilizing distribution system, but they're not really paying into that distribution system equitably. So I know Colorado Springs Utilities, my view on is before we negotiate what those rates are back to those of excess power they generate, we do have to be able to find an equitable way that they're paying into the system. Because if not, you have people who can't afford these systems that are actually subsidizing the distribution upgrades required to be able to bring that power back on the system. So that's sort of the big thing. And I think that's what Scott's saying, that, there may be some changes around what is being recovered through excess. And the other thing too, I'll have Tristan sort of touch on was we just went through some upgrades on our system.
Yeah, so part of the analysis here was to look into our systems to see what would it take to upgrade to make that option available, where it is just kind of push button, goes out to each of the customers that participate in rooftop solar programs. The cost to upgrade the system that came back were, I believe, in the $80,000 to $100,000 range is where we came back on that. When we looked at the total value of available credits that are out there for the limited number of customers that we have that are on that, it was around $60,000 is the number that I'm remembering. Scott, feel free to jump in and correct if there is anything to go along with that. So if every available credit was contributed back into the Project COPE program, about $60,000 worth of benefit that could come in, as compared to about $80,000 to $100,000 to make the upgrade to the system to make that available. Now, what we do want to make sure that we do make available is some additional communication, directed communication to customers that are participate in that program, letting them know that they are more than welcome to take their credit and apply back into the program. That can be done without us having to go through some of those system upgrades, just through reaching out and saying, hey, you're in a credit status program with the program. Here's an opportunity to potentially think about Project COPE as a place where that you could apply that credit.
Any other board members on this topic? Go ahead, Board Member Lineweber.
So just a quick question. So when we get our city fully with fiber, will that possibly change? I mean, I understand that was one of the reasons that we looked to trying to advance fiber through the city is so that we could be more connected with individual homes and productivity, right? So maybe you can just comment on that. It might change when we actually get to that point.
Yeah, I can touch on that. So fiber is one of those, our transmission system now has two-way, a lot of communication. We operate our transmission system very remotely. As distribution increases have to happen with two-way types of generation, we have to upgrade our distribution to act and respond similar to transmission. We have to be able to manipulate and operate that through distribution control measures that we have similar to transmission. So the fiber will give us a lot more to be able to handle that grid. You're very correct, David, on that. It will allow us a lot of other options with some of that localization that we don't have now to be able to offset some of the distribution costs that's going up, to be able to handle a limited amount of flow versus, to be able to help control that. So that is one of the many pieces of the puzzle is fiber getting distribution to act and respond similar to transmission on the control aspects.
Right now, our program really residential focused. Again, as fiber builds out, it really does give a lot more opportunities to have those endpoint connections into businesses as well, where excess solar from those has an opportunity to participate as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
So that really concludes the proposed changes to rates as part of the 5-year financial plan. And the rest of the presentation, I'll speak to some other tariff changes that Utilities is proposing as part of the rate case. And the first one of those is related to the EnergyWise time of day transition.
Scott, before we go into this part of it, I'm looking, I don't see anyone else with a question. Could I just ask you a couple questions that I think will help clarify why are these rates going up? Why are these base rates going up? So when someone gets their bill and they see they have electric, gas, water, wastewater, each of those is made up of two pieces. Is that right? Their base rate and then their cost adjustment, like electric cost adjustment. Can you just, like in 30 seconds, explain a little bit of that?
Absolutely, yes. So I'll speak to the residential bill since it's what most of our customers will see. For electric and natural gas service, we have access and facilities charges. So customers will see an access and facilities charge per day. So you can call that kind of the daily customer charge, as well as a access and facilities charge that's based on the amount of energy that a customer uses. Those two charges comprise really the base rate that we've been talking about today. And those are the portions of the rates that are increasing as part of the 2025 rate case or proposed to increase. There's two other line items that appear on electric and natural gas bills, and those are the electric cost adjustment. the gas cost adjustment, and then the electric capacity charge and the gas capacity charge. Those two charges comprise what we call the fuel-related changes. So the ECA and GCA are the fuel, recover the fuel commodity costs. Those we adjust quarterly, or we bring those proposals to City Council, usually quarterly, to adjust with the changes in the commodity markets. And the capacity charges are also fuel-related, but those recover the cost of bringing those commodities to our community. So through other entities' transmission systems. So the cost of reserving and transporting those commodities through other entities' systems to Colorado Springs. So that's those 4 line items are what appear on most customers' electric and gas bills. And then the water and wastewater bills, of course, there's not those fuel components. It's all just in those service charges.
Okay, but under gas and electric and gas, really it's 2 pieces to that. There's the base rate and then there's the ECA or GCA on top of that. And so what we're talking about today is really that base rate. What kind of things you've done it in detail, but just in general, what kind of things make up base rates?
Yes, great. So base rates really fund the construction, the operation and maintenance, and the operation and maintenance of the systems.
Okay.
So pipes, wires, plants, facilities, substations, those types of things are funded through base rates.
And when is the last time we've had an increase in those base rates at Colorado Springs Utilities?
In electric and gas service, those were increased effective January 2024. So those were recent adjustments. In the electric service, the prior change was in January of 2018. So it's been a number of years between 2018 and 2024 that the electric rates were increased. That was the longest gap for any of the 4 services. And then, so
it's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years before this last change.
And actually it'll be 25, so it'll be 7 years before it'll come on board. Let me just look at my note here. And I think that, and then now if someone says, well, that can't be right because I've seen my electric bill go up and down, 100 times over the last 7 years. Why is that? Because we're saying that base rate has not moved in 7 years, but they've seen their rate move, and that's because of the
cost adjustments. Yes. And the cost adjustments can comprise a significant portion of the overall electric and gas bills. So as those change, they are noticeable for customers.
In natural gas, you said we adjusted it January of 24. How long had it been before that? Do you know?
That I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay.
I want to say a couple of years.
Been a couple of years. Okay, thank you. All right. Thanks for doing that for me, and please continue.
Okay.
If I could just jump in for one more quick second.
You bet.
I do think it is a good qualification there to break out the base rates versus the fuel commodity rates that we have there. And again, as we look at a 5-year budget, we've tried to give information on those fuel commodity lines as well, understanding that what we're asking the city council to vote on is those base rates as part of this rate case. The fuel commodity lines, as they adjust, will be still on that quarterly basis as we bring those in. So while we have given some projections of what we see those costs doing over the next 5 years, we still anticipate for anything that's fuel commodity related, including increased amounts of purchase power agreements for renewables, wind, solar, and battery. Those run through the cost adjustment categories that are there. We've got some projections of what those might be on over the next 5 years, but we will assess those as we get closer on a quarterly basis of what those adjustments need to be.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Tristan. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, thank you. So the first other tariff change, and probably the most significant other tariff change that I'll discuss, is the energy-wise time of day transition. As you are all familiar, the energy future is transforming, particularly with state requirements on greenhouse gas emissions, an increase in the renewable energy portion of our portfolio, investments in the sustainable energy plan projects to really integrate those renewable resources into our system, as well as continuing to meet the needs of a growing community, all place challenges on our electric system. In 2028, anticipating these challenges of this transition, utilities really started an initiative to investigate how rates could play a role in this transition. And we really developed the roadmap highlighted in the lower right-hand part of this slide here, a roadmap on how to go about transitioning our electric rates to meet the challenges of this energy transition. And this roadmap was really developed in conjunction with energy vision workshops, integrated resource planning efforts, as well as really made possible by investments that utilities has made in automated metering infrastructure, or the AMI meters, as well as investments we were planning to make in the billing systems and customer information systems. So with those things in place, time of day rates and other types of rates were really made possible. So as this roadmap was being developed, it really prioritized three key things. The first is a reliance on proven industry best practices. The second really is building a customer focus into the roadmap, as well as building it based on board engagement. And I'll touch a little more on each of those three areas in the next few slides. So in terms of industry best practice and lessons learned, we have a number of contacts at peer utilities, and we reached out to some other utilities that we hadn't previously had contacts with to really have personal conversations and interviews to learn about their experiences with similar transitions to time of day rates, so that we could learn from those and incorporate those best practices into our process. We also work with a number of external experts in the industry and really that have helped other utilities with similar transitions. We've also completed, just a vast amount of research, whether it's published reports, news articles, studying other utilities' websites and information, just to learn how other utilities are communicating with customers, what bills look like in terms of messaging to customers, and what kind of tools and programs utilities offer to help customers be successful with these types of rates. In terms of the customer-centered nature of this effort, utilities has conducted both internal and employee-facing focus groups and customer surveys, again, to get a baseline understanding of where customers' understanding of rates is, and then get a better understanding of how our bill design, what kind of tools and messaging can really help customers as we move forward with proposing time of day rates. Likewise, utilities this year has conducted some journey mapping. So looking at, as we look to transition customers from the rates that they're on today to rates that look a little different in the future, what does that journey look like for customers and customers of different types? And to, again, to learn from that customer experience and to build those requirements not only into our tools and programs that we can offer customers, but into our business practices as well. And with the goal of, as we move closer to implementation, to be able to personalize things to some degree for individual customers on what their impacts and situations are. The third focus of this initiative really is that board engagement. And really this effort really started with a board direction in 2018, 2019. And a rate discussion was part of those energy vision workshops and the IRP process back in 2018 and 2019. And in 2020, Utilities Board at that point had a rate design workshop where they really prioritized principles and priorities that should be used as we determine what types of rate designs to roll out to our customers. And then the board in 2021 approved changes to the board, the Excellence in Governance Manual, to codify those priorities in utilities guidance. In 2021, 2023, we've really provided updates to the board as this project has progressed, and finally culminating now with a presentation of what we're proposing for these rates in the 2025 rate case. So we believe that energy-wise rates can play a significant role in terms of helping customers shift usage to periods when energy costs less and really help this energy transition as we move forward. The graph on the left side of the slide illustrates the time varying cost of providing energy in the electric service.
Hey, Scott, we've been going almost an hour and 45 minutes. Would board members like to take, say, a 10-minute break and then come back and finish up? And we do have the executive sessions afterwards. Would you like to take a break? Okay. If so, then we'll go ahead and we will recess for 10 minutes. It's now 2:37. Please be back at 2:50.
So disgusted.
Okay, Scott, why don't you go ahead and pick it up?
Thank you, Chair Donaldson. The in regards to energy-wise rates, really just wanted to highlight the time varying cost of providing energy to our electric customers. And the chart on the left side of the screen shows how utilities cost varies based on the hour of the day. And this is an example of our summer cost. As you'll notice, in the morning when overall customer demand is low, the cost is relatively low because of that lower demand. During the middle of the day, because of the increased amount of renewable energy in our system, the cost actually is lower in the middle part of the day. But as we move into the late afternoon, early evening, as those renewable sources, particularly solar, their production starts to decrease, and other generation sources have to come online to fill the gap of that waning renewable energy. The cost of providing energy in those evening hours is higher, and the cost for that period is really we've identified as the on-peak period of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So with energy-wise time of day rates, customers would pay a different rate based on the time of day that they're using the energy, which better aligns with the cost of providing that service. And as a result, that the rate structure can be more fair and equitable for customers, as customers are paying the more appropriate amount of cost for when they're using it. Likewise, because of the nature of that, customers have more control in the ability to shift some of their energy usage to times of the day where it costs utilities less to provide that energy, and provides them an opportunity for bill savings if they're able to make those shifts in timing of their energy usage. As customers respond to energy-wise rates over time, utilities can reduce or prevent the incremental growth of our peak demand, which can reduce in the long term the need to add more capacity to our system, which of course comes with avoided cost that we would have to make investments in. And all of this also supports the transition to a more sustainable energy transition. So taking a closer look at how these rates work at the residential level, the energy-wise rates that we're proposing have an on-peak period of 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., as I indicated on the prior slide. And those are really in effect, the on-peak period is in effect only on weekdays, and the off-peak period are all other times, including certain holidays. And the rates also have a seasonal component to it. Our highest demands for the electric service occur during the summer. So following the cost causation of that, the summer on-peak rate is set higher than the winter on-peak rate. So to speak through these charts, which really highlight how our current residential standard rate compares to what we're proposing as the energy-wise time of day standard rate in the future, kind of compare to each other. So the red line across, kind of the horizontal red line going across the screen, signifies today's standard residential energy rate. And this, in these examples, these are the non-fuel commodity rate as well as the ECA and ECC. So it's all energy cost rolled together. But it is the current standard rate is a flat rate across all time periods and across all days, regardless of when a customer uses it. The energy-wise rate, of course, varies from on-peak periods and off-peak periods. So you'll note the off-peak energy-wise rate is lower than the flat rate of today during off-peak periods, and then is higher than that flat rate during on-peak periods. Of note, I wanted to highlight that the off-peak periods, if you just look at the hours of the year, off-peak periods comprise 88% of all of the hours of the year. Only 12% of the hours of the year occur during on-peak periods. 8% of that happening in the winter and 4% in the summer. So customers have a lot of opportunity just based on the hours of the day to be able to shift some appliance usage to those off-peak periods. In terms of kind of a comprehensive view of what we're proposing as part of the EnergyWise transition, it really comprises 6 different things. So today, all of our industrial customers, as well as our contract service military customers, are already on a time of day rate. Based on our most recent IRP analysis, we're recommending changing our current on-peak period that our industrial customers, that's applicable to them. We're proposing changing that to the 5 to 9 p.m., as well as making that the time, the on-peak period across residential and commercial customers. The second piece of the transition is to move most of our customers, particularly the residential and commercial customers, transition most of those to EnergyWise, the standard time of day rate, over a period of time. And what we're proposing as an effective date for these changes is October 1st of 2025. So as you'll recall, the first year of proposed rate increases for the 5-year rate increases would take effect in January of 2025. So that would be true for the electric base rates. But then the following October is when we're proposing the EnergyWise rate transition to begin. So we're proposing in October 2025 these tariffs to take effect, and then over a period of time, gradually transition residential and commercial customers to the EnergyWise rate. So we're not anticipating moving all those customers all at once, but through more of a managed process to transition them over a period of months. So that's the second piece. The third piece, really, the third and fourth pieces really are to provide options for our customers in terms of what rate options they're eligible for. So in addition to the standard EnergyWise time of day rate, we're proposing the addition of an EnergyWise Plus rate, which adds a even cheaper cost of energy during what we call peak saver periods. So if I go back a couple slides to the system cost chart, you'll see in the middle of the day, the cost of providing service actually dips between the hours of 9 and 1 p.m. So our EnergyWise Plus rate proposes a even cheaper energy rate during those hours. It also proposes a higher rate, even higher than the on-peak rate during certain events that utilities can call. So kind of congestion pricing, as you might see on when you might take an Uber ride or something like that, during certain events, limited to 15 times per year, utilities could call an event of particularly high demand, and customers that have chosen to be on the EnergyWise Plus rate would get notified to curtail usage during those periods, and a higher rate would be in effect on those particular events. The other optional rate that we're proposing for residential and small commercial customers is a fixed seasonal rate. So that option is available for customers that may not want to be subject to a time of day rate that varies based on the time of day, but they just want a flat rate across all hours. So that fixed seasonal rate has that dynamic to it, but it does have a seasonal pricing change with a higher rate in the summer and a lower rate in the winter. The next two changes, the final two changes, really have to do with our commercial classes. And today we have two commercial classes, a small commercial and a general commercial class. We're proposing to break those two classes really into three commercial classes, a small commercial, a medium commercial, and a large commercial. And we're also proposing redefining our smallest industrial class and adding a demand charge to our medium and large commercial classes to better align with the cost causation of providing energy really related to our distribution system. So the table on the right really summarizes what rate options would be available to different types of customers, with the residential and small commercial customers having the Energy Wise rate as the standard, but having options for the Energy Wise Plus or the fixed seasonal, and then medium, large, commercial, as well as industrial in our special contract, our contract service military customers having the standard Energy Wise time of day rate and the option of the Energy Wise Plus rate. Any questions there before I go into customer bill impacts?
Board Member Lineweber.
Thank you, sir. I heard you say that we're going to be over time putting people online. I wasn't really sure if I understood that. Are you taking certain sections of the city and going to be turning them on, or is there like a volunteer type transition? I mean, what does that mean? Over time, we're going to be adding people to the system.
Great. Yes, thank you for that question. The intent is to effective October 2025 to have our Energy Wise rates be in effect. At that time, any customer could elect to take service under those new rates. So it'd be their option to transition on their own. But utilities' intent is to identify customers primarily based on location, based on where they've had their AMI meters the longest. And that largely lines up with customers' bill cycle. So customers on certain bill cycles overlap to a large degree with how the deployment of the AMI meters was rolled out. And really the Energy Wise rates relies on the AMI meter. And part of our intent is to provide customers prior to being transitioned to the Energy Wise rates, customized information on how the transition would impact them. And that would be done based on looking at the customer's AMI history and calculating what their annual bill cost would be on their current rate compared to when they're transitioned to the Energy Wise rate. So we can provide some customized information. So we're relying on that AMI information to do that. So we want to transition customers to the Energy Wise rates really first that have had the AMI meters the longest, and then kind of going through that AMI deployment schedule.
So for some customers, if they were to have gotten solar like in the last year or two, they would have the AMI because it wouldn't be like an automatic add-on thing or something like that. Is that correct?
Yes. So customers that have solar do have meters that read intervals capable of time of day rates. We are, and that's a good clarification, we are proposing to not transition customers with solar to the Energy Wise rates at this time. So we are essentially proposing to keep those customers on the current rates until further analysis can be done. And we spoke to previously with Board Member O'Malley's question on net metering and solar, and broader state level discussions that utilities has been a part of, and potential changes that utilities might consider to net metering. And so we really wanted to evaluate those future changes before we implement one change on net metering customers followed by a subsequent change down the road. So we thought it was prudent to keep the net metering customers on their current rate schedules.
And then with the new added commercial tier deal, will it be similar to kind of the WaterWise program where we have the different levels, and then you can kind of try to work your way to try to get down, and then when you get underneath a certain level, you'll become that level. So a business may want to achieve a cheaper rate. So can he work their way down to do that? You know, change the light bulbs. You know what I mean, say stuff like that.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, the commercial rates, we're proposing the standard rates to be a time of day Energy Wise rate along with a demand charge. And each of those components has advantages for commercial customers to not only shift usage 2 off-peak periods, but to also look at ways to manage their peak demand. And as customers can do either of those 2 things or both, they can save on their bill and potentially change rate classes based on customer changes.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Board Member Helms.
Scott, just to follow on to that, so we know there are ratepayers who have elected not to have the AMI installed.
Yes.
How are we addressing the time of day, energy-wise time of day with those ratepayers?
Yes, thank you. So our proposal is for customers that have opted out of AMI, they would be placed on the fixed seasonal option that is a non-time of day rate, but does have the seasonal component to it.
Thank you.
Scott, roughly how many customers are there that have done that?
I haven't.
Less than 100?
Last year, I believe when we last updated the board, there was a little over 100. I want to say 101, 102. We've deployed more AMI meters since then. I don't have the updated number off the top of my head, but we can follow up with that.
Okay, but it's roughly 100, maybe up to 150 out of how many total customers? Is it 100?
Yeah,
185,000?
Yeah, close to 230, 240 residential customers. 230,000, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wanted to spend the next few slides really highlighting some estimated customer bill impact. So one of the things that we wanted to do is look at how the transition from our current rates to our energy-wise rates would impact our customers. And we relied on a sample of customers' meters that we've gathered. So we're using historical data from customers' meters that are reading at least at an hourly level to complete these bill impact estimates. So we started with a sample of about 1,000 customers that we polled, 1,000 residential customers that we polled to complete this analysis. And the graphs, I'll just speak briefly to the composition of these graphs. So along the vertical axes, we have the percent of customers appearing in each of the columns. And then along the horizontal axes, we have the percentage of the bill change, either plus or minus, and they're grouped into 2.5% ranges. So in the middle of the graph, we have the minus 2.5 to 0%, and the 0 to plus 2.5% being really the middle part of the graph. The green columns indicate customers that are what we've called on the slide instant benefiters, are customers that instantly pay less when they're transitioned to time of day rates. And the purple columns represent customers that are non-benefiters, are customers that instantly pay more when transitioned to time of day rates. And again, this is using historical data so that there's no customer response to these rates factored into these bill impacts. So in looking at our residential sample, and what we had hoped and expected was for residential customers to have a pretty normal looking distribution. And that is exactly what we saw when we completed these bill impact analyses. So with the transition to time of day rates, our graph is showing approximately 50% of customers save right out of the gate, and about 50% of customers pay more right out of the gate.
I don't think her hand's up. She just popped up like that. Yeah. Go ahead, Scott.
Okay. I wanted to note that for the customers that automatically benefit, the average bill decrease is just under $4 per month. And for customers that pay more, the average increase is close to $3.42 that they pay more per month. So plus or minus $4 is the average change on the monthly bill.
Okay, and I think that's real important because this might get a lot of interest in the media that we're talking about $4 for the people who do better and a little less. Was it like 3 something for those who pay more? And that's with nobody adjusting anything. That's just live your life as you are now. That's the total impact, roughly, right?
Exactly.
On the bell curve there. If you do shift things, then you're going over into the saving group,
Correct.
more than likely. Okay.
Absolutely.
And Mr. Donaldson, again, I think that's a really good point and something that we're excited about from the utilities. The information that we had in here really kind of shows that 5 to 9 p.m. Period of time is being so much more expensive for us as an organization to be able to provide the electricity during that period of time. It doesn't take a whole lot of usage moving off of that period of time to save both the organization and customers real dollars by being able to do that. And one of the things that we have definitely seen out of our utilities customers is they respond to price signals across the years with our water service and the tiered rates that we've had there. Customers are aware of those price signals and typically do make some of those adjustments. So we do think there's a great opportunity for savings for customers as they find things that they can move off of that 5 to 9 period of time that will actually bring down their utility bill.
Thank you.
Great. And did just want to note that, of course, bill impacts would vary on an individual customer basis. And our rate design, as I pointed out a few slides ago, it does have a seasonal component to it where rates are higher in the summer and lower in the winter. So there is a seasonal impact as well. And what we're displaying here is the average impact over the entire 12-month period.
Yeah, Board Member Lineweber.
With WaterWise, I mean, the campaign that went along with that to really educate people on how to save water and do a lot of different programs and stuff like that was, I have to say, commendable. I was not on the utility board at the time, was not a part of it, but I certainly paid attention as a business owner, and it really, there was a lot of great information that got communicated that allowed me to save money on my bill. So I guess my question is, will there be a follow-up with that type of rollout on suggesting like, hey, did you know your dryer uses this much energy, you know, or this or this, and here are ways to say, so, you know, dry your clothes, you know, not between 5 to 9, right? What's the plan for that?
Yes, and in a few slides, I'll speak to it now. But utilities does have a 3-phase communication plan that really builds with more specific and more personalized information as we move through those phases. But the first phase being just general customer education of, you know, the cost of providing energy varies based on the time of day, and then general media outreach and those sorts of things. And then as we move closer to the effective date and customer transition, that communication getting providing more tips and tools, information on tools that are be available to customers, how to save, when to switch usage, how to save, and then eventually getting to phase 3, where the information really becomes more customized and personalized to the individual customer. So the next thing we wanted to do was not just look at residential customers as a whole, but break it down into types of residential customers. So we really broke down that sample of customers into 4 personas, being fixed income, what we've called vulnerable households, family-focused households, and young adult. The fixed income, of course, being households maybe with a higher average age within the home, as well as likely being on a fixed income that doesn't change up or down. Vulnerable households being those of lower income in the community. Family-focused households being those with multiple generations in the home or higher number of people in the household. And then young adult, again, with a lower average age in the home, as well as a more moderate income levels. And so we applied our bill impacts to each of these personas. And what we saw was a fairly normal distribution. The distributions are a little different for each of the personas, but we see broadly in each of them approximately close to 50% instant benefiters and 50% customers that pay more. Actually, in the fixed income persona, we saw 68% of customers being instant benefiters and only 32% of customers paying more. And a similar pattern to that in the vulnerable households. And those are two ones in particular we wanted to take a close look at. And in the vulnerable households, the result was 60% of customers being instant benefiters and 41% being customers that pay more instantly. But in general, we were pretty pleased with these results based on the bill impacts that we calculated. And with the bulk of the impacts being in the middle or lower extremes of the distributions, and overall didn't see anything that really stood out as really problematic for us in our rate designs. Any questions on residential before I move to commercial impacts? Okay, one more note on the residential. So those examples, again, were before any customer response is factored in. One to provide just one personal example of a Colorado Springs Utilities employee who would fall in that family-focused persona. And again, that persona is one that had actually more non-benefiters than benefiters. So they were more impacted by the time of day transition. And this customer had that experience as well when they completed their own bill impact analysis. And their average increase was $4.55 per month. So if they were to switch to the time of day rate, they would pay about $4.50 more per month. This customer identified that they were not willing to initially change how they use their air conditioning. They kind of viewed that as an important for their comfort in their home, so they weren't planning on changing their usage of their AC unit. But they did calculate some customer response if they were to just change two things, being when they dried clothes in their clothes dryer and when they ran their dishwasher, calculating the usage of those two household appliances, what the impact would be on their annual bill. And what they found was, as opposed to paying $55 more with the transition time of day rates, just making those two changes was almost $100 bill change and switch them to paying for almost $50 less annually with just changing the usage of those two appliances. So just one example of how simple changes can result in bill savings. And I will very quickly go through the commercial impacts that we've estimated. Again, and this is the culmination of all of our commercial changes that we looked at. So changing of the commercial classes, transitioning customers to the time of day rate, as well as the addition of demand charge in those medium and large commercial classes. And what we saw in applying this to a nearly 1,500 customer sample is approximately 50% of customers pay more, 50% of customers pay less, with 66% of these commercial customers falling in the range of plus or minus 5% bill change compared to the rates, the standard rates of today. Again, we wanted to break that down into a couple commercial personas or segments, and particularly we wanted to look at restaurant and retail businesses, as well as office buildings and healthcare, and lodging and social gathering places. And again, similar distributions we saw for restaurant and retail. We actually had approximately 50% benefiters, 50% customers that pay more. It doesn't quite look like a normal distribution because we see a little bump up in the purple column in the customers that pay 5% to 7.5% more. We did do a little further analysis on that particular column and noted that those were customers that are currently on a optional time of day rate that we have in place today. So they're coming from a pretty favorable commercial time of day rate that's in effect today. And the customers that are currently comprising that column are primarily corporate accounts for things such as gas stations and corporate retail outlets. as we took a look at those. And likely being customers that have some sort of corporate presence in selecting rate options for them, just as a kind of a point of observation. For the columns for office building and healthcare, as well as the lodging, in the column that's kind of high purple columns of 0 to 2.5% of paying more, we did look at the average increase for both of those, and that's the average increase for customers in those categories was an increase of 1% or less. So it's a really minor increase when transitioning to these time of day rates for that set of customers. So that concludes the bill impacts, and I really spoke to the customer communication plan for just this Energy Wise piece. Are there any additional questions there? If not, that really concludes the Energy Wise portion.
Yes, Board Member Longlever.
Thank you, Dave. I mean, we're looking at just electric. So to be fair, we're looking at just electric, right? And in base rates, you're talking about a 6% increase for general base rates. So this, if they go on this, they still have the 6% base rate, right?
Yes, that's a great clarification. So
it kind of is getting muddled and confused between the two. Because if we see a rate increase, I would love to see more emphasis put on Energy Wise increase than if they are two separate things. But they're not separate, they're kind of combined.
it is, and that presents a challenge when we get to the communication plan. One thing that's slightly in the favor of that communication plan is the effective date. So the first year of increase as part of the 5-year financial plan and the base rate increases is January 1st of 25, and the Energy Wise transition really happening in October of 25. So there's a little bit of time to really customize that messaging. But you are correct that the base rate increases that we highlighted in the first part of my presentation today also apply to the Energy Wise rates. So the Energy Wise rates are calculated to collect the same amount of revenue as the rates that we highlighted in the 5-year plan. So they're revenue neutral, and that's why we saw the bill impacts being pretty much normally distributed. So they collect the same amount of revenue, but it's really the rate increase is happening starting in January 25, the Energy Wise transition happening in October of 25, and then the subsequent rate increases happening in years 26 through 29. So it's kind of three pieces of things that are happening, cumulative impact to the customer. So we just have to try to be clear as those different pieces come into effect and communicating those to customers.
And Mr. Langweber, really just trying to make sure giving enough data that can be in between there to help out. There's a few things as we thought about the timing of rollout that went into that October 1st date. Really the base rate increase being one of those. Another being we've seen from some of that peer communication and others that have rolled this out, doing it in the summertime is also a time to avoid, as we're seeing people with their probably their peak usage, especially those with air conditioning units. So those were two things that we wanted to avoid, was the first of the year and really the summertime as we looked at the best time for rolling these out. And I'm sorry, I did just want to interject as well. We did confirm we have 144 right now that have opted out of AMI meters.
Great, thanks, Tristan.
So, so what we're communicating here is for those coupon cutters, that are really looking at saving every penny they can, right? They're not going to get an opportunity to do that until October. But at that time, they'll be able to reduce that 6% income increase possibly by switching to WaterWise and maybe even getting lower rates.
So that's also an opportunity for a good clarification. So even currently, utilities does have an optional time of day rate, which is essentially what the Energy Wise rate is based upon. So right now, or effective January 25th, 2025, residential customers can elect to take service under the time of day rate that we have out there. So they can take advantage of potential savings if they're able to switch usage. They can do that starting now and anytime up to October in most situations. The commercial customers also have an optional time of day rate, so there is an opportunity there as well. But for customers to be transitioned as the standard rate, we are proposing that October 2025, but there is opportunity on a voluntary basis to do it before then.
Okay, that's great news. So there is, again, you get those coupon cutters. That's a good way to interpret it, right? They're trying to save every penny they can. And they're going to think about when they're going to run the dryer. They're going to think about cooling the house off before 5 o'clock, and things like that, and in order for them to save money for their family. So I hope we kind of really communicate that well and roll that out well. So thank you.
Board Member O'Malley.
So as people adjust to these peak demand, how's that gonna eventually, I mean, as people adjust today, will that peak demand have to shift to go even larger as they adjust and start doing more, between the hours of, 3:30 and 9:30?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, what's the sensitivity on this as far as, is this going to last is it going to be good for 2 years only? Is it going to be good for a decade?
great question. Yeah, we have modeled our 5 to 9 p.m. on peak period based on projections through 2030. So we believe we've selected an on peak period that will last, that will be appropriate for a good number of years looking forward. We do recognize that as customers respond and changes in potential electric uses, such as electric vehicles and different things, we will have to evaluate potential changes in that on-peak period and just stay flexible to be able to change that. But we don't anticipate that being anytime in the relatively near future.
One other thing just to consider, Mr. O'Malley, as we see our customers change in our local area, they move off that 5 to 9 period of time. What we see is our generation, particularly our gas generation, is available. And as other regions that we are connected to are not changing as quickly, we become more available to be able to be an off-system seller. And really at that peak period of time where we're able to use that generation to bring good benefit back to customers of Colorado Springs, where we have available generation that's not being used.
Looks like that's all the questions for now. Scott, why don't you go ahead and continue?
I got one other quick section of other changes to our tariffs that we're proposing as part of the 2025 rate case. The first two that I'll highlight real quickly here relate to our natural gas service. The first one being a change to our optional interruptible natural gas service for our industrial customers. So this service is available to customers that want to choose to have a backup system so that we can call for a curtailment and they can switch to their own backup system during those times. In the past, Utilities has a requirement that utilities will perform a test event prior to the winter of each season, where customers are expected to participate in that utilities run test event to make sure that their equipment is operational, to have certainty that they will curtail when we call those curtailment events and come off of our system onto their systems. Utilities is recommending removing that requirement of a utilities run test event and just clarifying that customers are expected to perform their own test events prior to each of the heating seasons. There are costs that customer cost connected to those test events, and so Utilities is sensitive to that and is proposing this change to be more customer friendly while still maintaining a customer's readiness to come off of our system during curtailment events. The second change for natural gas service is one to our transportation service. So again, these are the customers who contract with another party to purchase their natural gas commodity instead of paying the GCA. And similar to the interruption events, these customers are subject to restricted delivery days. So and they correspond with interruptible events for the interruptible service generally, but during restricted delivery days, those transportation customers get a signal to really bring to utilities the amount of gas that they're going to be using that day. Utilities does provide a balancing service for transportation customers. So customers a day in advance schedule what they think they're going to use, and they procure that gas and bring it to the city gate for us to distribute to them. But their actual usage, of course, can vary based on events that can vary based on from what they nominated and brought into our system. So we balance and provide gas to balance what their loads are. The change that we're recommending is the addition of additional language on short and long events, depending on which way gas needs to flow in the natural gas transportation pipeline, and having those restricted delivery day charges take effect on any imbalance volumes that a customer may have. So instead of allowing a 10% buffer before we impose the restricted delivery day balancing charges. We have a few minor clerical revisions, just changes to our tariffs to reflect the renaming of the Peterson Air Force Base to the Peterson Space Force Base, as well as the Cheyenne Mountain Station. So those are pretty simple changes we plan to make. Switching to our utilities and rules and regulations, we're proposing the addition of a large load interconnection study and fee for potential customers with very large loads that are looking to connect to our systems. We are proposing both the requirement for a study, and then if they meet certain size limitations, the requirement to pay fees for those studies. As Board Member Hingham pointed out, we have really two pieces as follow-up from the UPAC assignment last year that we're proposing, and that is an update to our electric line extension fees and our gas line extension fees, really bringing the fees to full cost for extending the system. And we have coordinated these changes with the development and home building industry. So wanted to highlight that. Likewise, we, as follow-up as part of the UPAC assignment, we are recommending changes to many fees in our URRs, mostly related to development review and new customer connections. So updating a number of those fees, as well as adding some new fees for things that utilities was currently completing without a fee, including construction drawing review and looking at annexation application review fees as well. The last change I'll mention here under URRs is the addition of an alternate method for calculating water and wastewater recovery agreement charges. The current method does have an interest component built into it, but it is limited to 5 years of interest. And so we're proposing an interest factor that has a compounding interest rate that really varies based on the year that a connection is made to a utility system to better reflect the actual financing cost of constructing large systems.
Member Hingham.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think, again, it's just important to recognize that we have made changes to the cost recovery for development. And looking back historically, ratepayers did actually subsidize more for growth than they will be with the changes to this rate structure. And that was done with a lot of effort on the UPAC's part, and also really working in collaboration with the Home Builders Association, who, my understanding, are quite satisfied with this, while we also are as well as utilities. I think that's just really important to highlight. Thank you.
Okay, Scott.
Great. And I will end with just a summary of the next steps, which is really looking forward to any additional questions here today, and then hopefully a thumbs up for utilities to bring a case containing these elements to City Council on September 10th and requesting a public hearing date of October 22nd.
Okay, and before we kind of see if there are any other questions, just a update that we're just about an hour behind our agenda, and that's okay. We're going to ask all the questions we need to, and our CFO would like to add one thing.
Yeah, and appreciate everybody's time and attention to this. And really this, from a utility board standpoint, a culmination of, as Ms. Hincham mentioned, really months of work that has gone into these schedules. And appreciate all of the time and attentiveness to this. I'm about as excited as I can be. You know, any more numbers and I would just be completely losing myself here. But
No, let's not do that.
I'm not sure that's the same for everybody to get through a presentation of that length, but I appreciate the attentiveness that has gone into this. One of the things I know I'm asking for the thumbs up as this goes over to City Council. We have presentations that will go to City Council for both the budget appropriation and the rate case, and we just want to make sure. I want to make sure personally, as the CFO, that you have all the information that you need to be able to make those decisions that will be coming before you. If you feel like there's things that you need beyond what has been presented in these presentations, that you know that you can reach out to me individually, and we can set up whatever time is needed to go over any additional questions or anything else that may come up.
And I think I just want to clarify, you're talking, what you're offering is basically some one-on-one explanations, et cetera, not to alter the presentation.
Right. One-on-one information, and part of what we do present as really kind of in that budget appropriation, we had a slimmed down version here because all of you were there at the May joint strategic planning and finance committee meeting. We kept that a little bit briefer today, just knowing how long we were going to take. As we go before City Council, there will be more budget details that are there. About a month out before that City Council date, we will have a draft annual operating and financial plan that goes out, which has details of every single capital project, all of the budget spend that's there. And again, as questions come up, as those documents are made available, we didn't make a draft available before this point because we wanted to make sure we had the board moving in a certain direction. And now that we have that, we can get those things tied back up. But yes, and most certainly, if there are specific questions on any line items or questions that you may be receiving from customers or constituents, we want to be able to help address those in the best ways that we can.
Okay, thank you, Tristan. We've asked questions throughout, but are there any final questions here at the end? If not, can I see by just a thumbs up if all the board members agree, or at least 5, to send this over to utilities and or not utilities, to City Council? Okay, that is certainly the majority, if not everyone. And with that, I think that, well, thank you, Scott. Thank you, John. You kind of were along for the ride for the last half of that. All right, so we'll move on to item number 9. That is the 2024 ballot scorecard mid-year results. Natalie Watts will provide us with the mid-year results of this 2024 scorecard.
Good afternoon, Board Chair Donaldson, Vice Chair Avila, and board members. I'm Natalie Watts, Manager of Strategic Planning and Governance. And as Mr. Donaldson just said, I'm going to be going through the 2024 mid-year scorecard results with all of you. Just as a reminder, these measures were approved at the November 2023 Utilities Board meeting. There are a total of 24 measures, and the total result for this time period was a 3.70 on a scale of 1 to 5, which is meets expectations. All of these results are as of June 30th, 2024. And we did review these results yesterday afternoon in the Strategic Planning Committee. The only result that was not reported out on was the industrial electric nationwide comparison. And that the reason for that is because it is only calculated annually. Next slide. So we had 8 measures, which were far exceeds expectations. So on our scale of 1 to 5, these would be the 5s. The majority of them are those front range bill comparisons that Scott talked about earlier and that Mr. Lineweber asked about during the previous presentation. We also had the environmental index and the safety, occupational injuries, and illness rates. Okay, next slide. We had 3 measures which came up as exceeds expectations or a 4 on our rating scale. That was our bond rating, our electric SAIDI or our system average interruption duration index, our interruptions in minutes per year, and our workforce index. Hopefully some of you may remember that a couple weeks back, we sent out a couple of emails when we were reaffirmed our AA+ bond rating from Moody's and Standard & Poor's. So good news there. Next slide. We had 11 measures, which were meets expectations or a 3 on our scale of 1 to 5. So we had the residential water service front range comparison, the days cash on hand for the current year, and the days cash on hand for the 3-year average, the adjusted debt service coverage for the 3-year average, the debt ratio current year and debt ratio 3-year average, the failures per 100 miles of pipe for the natural gas, water, and wastewater services, and then the customer satisfaction for both residential and business. Okay, next slide. Thank you. So we only had 1 measure, which was at a partially meets expectations or a 2 on our scale, and that is the adjusted debt service coverage for the current year. And I have Tristan here who can talk a little bit more about that.
Yes, so a meets expectation in our adjusted debt service coverage, which again shows how much our revenue can cover our principal and interest payments on our debt that we have outstanding as an organization, is set at 1.8. Coming into this year, we set that metric at a 1.77 in our budget activity as we went into last year. 3 basis points below the meets expectation. We took a little bit of a risk in that because we know that the rating agencies do look at a 3-year average with that number, as well as knowing that our other metrics, debt ratio and days cash in hand, are in good shape. Really, we did that to be able to get the, there's levers that you have to be able to execute to be able to get our budget to balance and meet all of the spending needs of the organization, rates and these metrics. We felt that it was appropriate to come in with the metric set slightly below the meets expectation for this 1 year, in order to be able to preserve rates and still get all of the spend done that we needed to from a reliability of the system. So we are on pace this year to finish at that 177 that we had planned. The one thing that we are keeping a close eye on is water revenue. It has been a hot and dry year for most of the summertime, which does tend to lead to more water revenue, which could increase that up above the 1.8 line. Again, just something that we'll continue to monitor as we move forward the rest of the year.
Thank you, Tristan. Moving on, so happy to report that we didn't have any measures which were a 1 on our scorecard or does not meet expectations. And the last time that this happened was for mid-year 2020. So it's been 4 years since we haven't had any in the red. So with that, the next steps. So you hear from me twice a year. So this is, as I mentioned, the mid-year results. I will be coming back in the February-March timeframe to report out on the year-end results for 2024. Questions?
Okay, thanks, Natalie. Are there any questions? Board Member Hendrum.
Yes, if we do decide we want to change any of the weightings on this overall scorecard, that would happen in March of 20. When could we do that? When would we do that?
We could do that. We would do that at the end of this year. We would bring those changes forward to the full utilities board and you guys would vote on that to make those changes that would go into effect for January 1st, 2025.
Okay. We had discussed the possibility of that at our most recent strategic planning meeting, governance meeting. So I'm not sure when. I think we had talked about putting that on the strategic planning agenda, if I'm not mistaken. Was that the outcome of that
Yes,
conversation?
we can bring that in at the October Strategic Planning Committee meeting.
Thank you.
Any other questions or any other questions? I don't see any other questions. Thank you, Natalie. All right, so what we'll do is board member updates now, then we'll get our summary of board actions, and then we'll go into our closed executive session. So as usual, just start over with board member Helms and work back this way. Go ahead, Randy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have three items. First, the PMR committee meeting yesterday, program management review. Due to some illnesses and other conflicts, it was just myself and Chair Donaldson who attended. So we had an abbreviated presentation, but the two issues that were presented to us were very important just to give the board members an update. First is the dashboard, and Mike was there to present that. Of the 58 projects that are on the dashboard, one was red, and that's the fiber installation, and 8 were in the yellow range. So if board members want more detail, Mike's here to either answer questions on that or go back and look at the video and see that. The second piece, which is very important too, is the sustainable energy portfolio. That was presented to us by Joe, and it really talked about the acquisition of new energy resources. Some of that's been touched on today by our CEO and others with solar, wind, natural gas, and the battery energy storage systems. So those are the areas that were discussed yesterday in the PMR. And again, those are available on video if you want to go look at that. My next issue is the actual fiber installation itself. I'd like to give just a quick update because it's in the north end of Colorado Springs where that's being installed. Since our last board meeting back in July, I haven't had any that I know of complaints on the installation and or reconstruction of the rights of way and stuff. So Mike's giving me the thumbs up as if that's true, or and Summer is very involved in that. Doesn't mean they're not there. It's just CSU is doing a great job of trying to help our ratepayers fix the areas that have been messed up when fiber is being installed. So just a quick update on that. Finally, I wanted to thank Colorado Springs Utilities leadership on a thing that went on just a couple of weeks ago. The Air Force Academy wanted to hike up Blodgett Point Peak and replace the American flag that's been up there for who knows how long on a World War II aircraft that had crashed up there during the World War II timeframe. And remains are still up there, not of people, but of the aircraft. And the American flag was just in disarray and tattered, as you can imagine. So a group of both cadets and graduates got permission from CSU to cut off some of the distance to be able to hike up there through utilities property. And I just wanted to reach out and thank you for doing that. That's my update, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thanks, board member Helms. Board member Lineweber.
I really don't have any update, but since Randy brought it up, I also have service, but not with utilities. And in the last 2 weeks, my service has been down twice. So anyway.
What kind of service are you talking about?
Not utilities. I don't want to mention the company.
Is it fiber? Is that what you're talking about?
Fiber.
Internet?
Yeah, fiber.
So your
my fiber's been down twice.
Yeah.
And it's not utilities.
I was good today. Yeah.
We had customer comments for 3 minutes earlier in the session.
I should have commented then, but it wasn't utilities. That's the thing. I'm just
So it's
I'm giving the shout out that I can't wait till I can get on utilities. So
okay. Board member Henjum, how's your internet over at your house?
My internet's doing just great. Thank you. I won't name the company, but we're doing good. I want to, first of all, just say, I know it was a very long rate presentation and finance presentation this morning, but I also really appreciate the attention of fellow board members as this is really a significant thing that we're doing. And I think it's important for transparency for the public and continuing for our ratepayers to understand why we're doing what we're doing, how we're doing it. We have been working diligently on the finance committee and really Tristan, his team, Scott, his team, what are they called? The raters? That's not what they call themselves. The
pricers.
The pricers have been really working very, very hard, and I want to recognize them. You know, this is really, we would not be a city without Colorado Springs utilities. We wouldn't have water, we wouldn't have electricity, we wouldn't be able to function as, you know, individuals in our homes. We wouldn't be able to live without what we provide here from CSU. So it is really important. We take it very seriously, and in already starting to hear from constituents, I feel very empathetic with the concerns that people are expressing as on fixed income, as I am as well. You know, a variety of concerns that people are sharing, and I welcome them all. Bring them on. We want to help you understand and also help where we can with assistance. So I just want to really make that point, and we'll continue to be making that point over the next many months. I also want to actually give a shout out to Summer Meese. I know she's like, shut up. She has a lot on her plate, and this is really to Summer and all of our utility staff. But when people reach out to us as city council members / board members with a concern, the staff responds and they go above and beyond. And there was one case in particular just in the last couple of days that there was a lot of response to, and I just want to thank you, Summer, and really everybody for your responsiveness and helping people understand. And the last thing I would say is just to make sure people are aware, the City of Colorado Springs is kicking off its Annex COS process. Board Member Risley and I, or City Council Member Risley and I are both the liaisons to this process, but it is really about how we grow as a city. There is on August 28th at the Hibble Sports Center on North Nevada from 6 to 8. You can stream it online. You can go in person. It is the beginning of a process, and the title of this particular panel is Ways a City Can Grow. And we just had a very consequential decision at City Council that impacts growth. We will have more. And I think it's very important. I actually was going to say this on our vote, but decided the meeting was going on too long to say it, that you know, from my perspective, we really probably should be tabling all annexations until we have had a chance to look strategically at how we grow as a city from an annexation perspective. I'm not sure that, you know, everybody's on that same page with me, but this is an opportunity for our public to have input in terms of what it looks like to grow thoughtfully within the constraints that we have, how we do it also and be economically viable. There's a lot of tensions that we're trying to manage in how we're growing. And so I just really want people to be aware of that, to participate and join. There will be online surveys as well. And you can find out about that by just typing in Annex COS in Google, and it will pull up that page and you can register for that event at that time. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Vice Chair Avila.
Thank you, Chair Donaldson. Am I talking loud?
You are, you're fine.
Okay. So the Personnel Committee met on Monday and we discussed workforce plan. And then it's gone through different iterations. I think in 2005, there were like 180 and 1,800 employees. 830 employees, and now we have about 2,030 employees. Okay. Renee, will you help me with those numbers?
Sure. In 2005, we had 2,056 regular employees, and this year in 2024, we have 2,030 regular employees.
Yeah, and then we had gone down, right, because there was
we went down to 1824.
Yeah.
We cut 200 positions and then we cut another 50.
So, and that was the plan, to have really lean employees, but now we are looking to have more, and we want to have be competitive. so that we attract the best type of workforce that we're able to do that. So we also talked about benefits, and we are self-insured. And so we pay that, and we pay 85% of the benefits and the employee pays 15%. And we just want to make sure that we have them taken care of. We also talked about the CEO competencies, the 5 competencies, and mostly about employee engagement. I wanted to switch over to just, I attended the Summerfest, the Utility Summerfest, and that was just amazing to see all the employees there. And what I've known since I've been on the utility board is that when I'm at these different functions, there's a lot of people that went to school with my kids. You know, they come up to me and say, I went to school with your son, I went to school with your daughter. And I had one at the Summerfest come up to me telling me that she was my son's girlfriend. And I didn't know that. He was only 13. So it's just so interesting to see how my kids were even so connected to this community. And it's been really touching for me and pretty powerful. And I did want to mention the retreat. I thought we had a retreat, a retreat among the board members. And I think that was really helpful for me, and learning actually our boundaries with a CEO and the employees and the workforce, and knowing how to speak with each other and getting clarity on that. So those are the 2 CEO things the 2 utilities things that I want to mention as well. Thank you.
Board Member Risley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In the interest of time, I won't report on anything today. Thanks.
Board Member Crow Iverson.
I just want to mention that I was lucky enough to attend the Water Congress conference yesterday. Thank you for hosting 2,000 or 3,000 people in our city. They love the city. They think it's beautiful. It was a very amazing what I got out of it just yesterday. And if luck has it, I will return tomorrow morning. So thank you.
Board Member O'Malley.
Also, in the interest of time, I'm going to keep this short, but I've got to say a piece of it. We spent a great deal of time today going over these rate increases that we're going to have over the next 5 years, and always look to the source as to why this is happening. We had to comply with a directive, an unfunded requirement of being 80% green by 2030. And this is the cost of making that transition. And so, yeah, it is painful, but you need to know exactly where it's coming from. Thanks.
Thank you, Board Member O'Malley. And finally, as our dutiful UPAC liaison, I've been regularly attending all the UPAC meetings. They're currently well underway with the nuclear generation assignment. UPAC met August 7th and had their first presentation from Springs Utilities on the role of nuclear in the energy landscape here at our organization. Their next meeting, for anyone who wants to attend it, is September 4th, and they have 2 guest presentations, one from the Colorado Department of Energy and also from the American Public Power Association. These organizations are coming to share the state and the state and federal perspectives as it relates to nuclear energy. And with that, unless there are any alibis, I forgot our board member online, Michelle Talarico, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll keep this short as well. Just quickly, I want to thank Randy and Dave. I don't know if you both kind of co-led the meeting since it was just the 2 of you, but I apologize for throwing that wrinkle at the last minute of not having the tour. I will look forward to getting some updates on that. I will be reaching out to you, Tristan, because I do have a few questions. And just as a quick circle back from the retreat as well, there was discussion that I won't go into in depth, but discussion about redefining potentially what the PMR committee is and I would love all of your input. I'm going to start with Natalie from a governance perspective and strategically just to kind of nail down what we have to do or should be doing, but I would love to reach out to all of you in the next week or two and get your feedback on how you think that committee could be more valuable to the entire board. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, and we hope you get better. Hope you're feeling better soon. Gail, can you please review the board actions we decided on today? But before you do that, I want to let the CEO say something.
Real quick, you've seen this handout, utility wise. This is another communication tool we've been working on. The team did a really great job. We're going to have a lot of these printed off. So, if you have key constituents or people that you would like, let us know. I'm going to be using these as we communicate and get out. It has a lot of information. We're going to reprint yearly of reiterations with this because our system always changes. But in January, these will come out again. We are going to be adding also wildland fire section in this too, to help educate the community what we're doing around the wildland fire interface at utilities. So this is going to be a sort of a working document that we've got it managed. So it'll be a good communication tool that I think will help a lot of people.
Yes.
Should be. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, everybody's. One last thing, last time before the DC fly-in on that Monday, we are having sort of a utilities day for those interested. We're having a lot of our joint action agencies. So for those that are looking at your travel date, that is on the Monday, for you it's going in Sunday. And I think we're going to have more information coming out from Andy. I just want to remind, since this will be the last time we're together before then.
All right. Thank you, Travis. With that, Gail, Gail, go ahead.
Sure, we approved the utilities board minutes from July 17th and the retreat minutes from August 5th. We approved the reappointment of Michael Borden, Catherine Danner, and David Watson as regular members of UPAC. We approved the appointments of Tom Carter and Albert Badeau as alternate members of UPAC, and then the budget and rate case will move forward to City Council.
Okay, thank you, Gail.